Hi, it's Jessy with Plan with Jessy, and I am showing you here all of the planners I used in 2016. Most of them only one at a time. So what I'm going to do is go through each of them and show you how I used them and why I moved on from them. So I started 2016 using a personal sized ring bound Filofax. This is a Filofax Saffiano in... Why can't I remember the name of the color? I can't remember the name of the color. So here's how I was using it back then. I mean, even then I was using, I was making my own inserts by that point. I had stopped using weekly pages and was mostly just using daily to-do pages, which is essentially what I have now. It's just a different format. Now I'm in a bound Hobonichi, and here it was these loose pages, and that is why I ended up moving on from these, because I didn't like, well, you know, you can't, it's hard to save these, so I bought these rings to save them, but it's not easy to go back and flip through. It's not cute. It's just loose pages on a ring, and I really do, because I do so much memory keeping, I like to be able to, my cat is visiting, if you can see. Say hi, Aggie. I like to be able to save my planners so that I can go back and look at them again. And it's just not, it wasn't a good format. But it is funny to me how similar the style is to what I have now, like to-do list, a little bit of washi, some kind of decorative box. It's almost exactly how I'm still doing it, which is funny. Because for some reason it feels like it was very different, but it wasn't. So then, because I wanted to have something more bound, then I moved into Traveler's Notebooks. So I was using these weekly printables from Growing Up Goddess. And I liked this okay. I decided I wanted to try something smaller. And then, so I de-ringed this and then moved into personal size inserts. Again, it's almost the exact same thing. It's just smaller. So then I moved, like I said, I started doing personal inserts. So this gets us into mid-March when I decided I wanted to try Hobonichi. So I got my first Hobonichi, which was the Hobonichi Weeks. This is the 2016 spring. So this started in the middle of March. And I never really got where I loved it. I think the problem is because the formatting, it's not daily pages, it's weekly pages. So here's one that's not done. It's week on one page with a tiny little, to me, feeling space. And so I tried to, let's see, what I did. So I tried to do it like this, where I had, this is all one day, one day, one day. But I just didn't like how that was either. So then I tried to do appointments here and to-dos over here. I still just didn't like it. But I loved the paper, so I kind of always felt like I would come back to Hobonichi for that reason alone. But it was just the size and the formatting I did not like. So it was around this time that I started reading more about bullet journaling, so I thought I would give that a try. So enter my first bullet journal. This was, I have it dated. Let's see, can you see that? April 16 to July 3rd. So that's a pretty decent amount. Although, as I'll explain in a minute, there was a break in there. But yeah, so I've done flips through this, so I'm not gonna go through this too much. This is probably one of my favorite pages on here, and I do want to recreate this somehow. In my A6, either using an A6 notebook or maybe taking a couple of pages, maybe in the note pages or something. I really like this. This is my books read and books to read. I never finished it, obviously, because I stopped using this, but I liked having the all the books I read. I also want to expand on this. I want to have more, like a little synopsis or what I liked or didn't like about a book, because I've been noticing that the more books I read, the more I forget what the book was about. Which, you know, I like to be able to remember what book, like someone will say something about a plot of a book and I'll remember reading it, or I won't remember the title or who wrote it or anything. So maybe that would be something that makes it easier to help recommend books to other people. Yeah, so this was bullet journaling. I had a few little collections, not too many. It was mostly just daily pages. Tried doing some weekly pages. I tried a few different weekly formats. This was probably my most favorite of all of the weekly formats I did. I liked all of the space, but again, it's essentially just like a daily page. You know what I mean? Like each day I made these little to-do lists and that. Yeah, so I liked this. I'm surprised that I was able to actually fill it up. I did take a break when these came out. These are the Recollections Ringbound when they came out. So I decided I wanted to try this again. So here I have Monday, May 16th too. I don't think it was super long. Maybe like a week or two. May 25th. So yeah, so like 10 days or so that I went back into the Ringbound just for the sake of using this planner. I even made dividers that were the proper size and everything. Yeah, but again, I didn't like the non-bound method of this. So this was scrapped quickly. Went back to this, finished this up, and then let's see, which came next? Then I decided to use, for my next book, I got a Taroko Enigma, which I no longer have in its original form because I broke it up. But it was a very thick, I can't remember, 300 and something page Tomoe River paper book. So this is what the paper looks like. It's dot grid. It's a little bit thicker paper than the Hobonichi, so it's not as, you know, it's just a little bit thicker. And so I used this as a regular notebook, but it was too thick for me. Again, the things I keep coming back to are I need bound and small. So I ended up splitting this into, actually there's a few other ones that I didn't bring out, but splitting these into like Traveler's Notebook books. So I had one for memory keeping, and then I had this one, which was weekly pages, which is essentially the exact same style I was doing it on in the Leuchtturm. And here's July and August. I was trying a few different weekly designs, packing lists, YouTube ideas, memory keeping. So yeah, so this went on for quite a while, but then I decided I'm not even exactly sure how it happened. I think someone posted about this in a bullet journal group or something. I can't exactly remember, but I wanted to have it. I wanted to try it. I mean, I honestly don't remember what it was that moved me from this to this. These weren't full, but I don't know, the allure of something new and different, I guess. So this was the Rhodia, which is really nice. I like this paper a lot. So I was using this. I used this from the end of August through September, and then let's see, somewhere in here, this is, what month are we in? The end of September? Yeah. So September 26th, I decided, I wonder if I would like an A6 size. So I actually drew in the dimensions of an A6 Hobonichi into this planner to see how I would like it. And I did like it. But instead of getting a Hobonichi, at this point, I moved into this. So this is an A6, just a plain, I think it's Essentials brand. It's actually really decent quality for how inexpensive it was. So this was my first foray into A6. So let's see. Yeah, so we're at September, the end of September. And it's, you know, it was great. I made it, you know, just like the Hobonichi is just daily pages, and then I had these monthly printables that I stuck in the front. So it was the exact same style as a Hobonichi. So I used this until here, October 13th. So what is that? Not even, took me only a couple of weeks to decide I wanted the A6 instead. So this is still all unused. I might use this for something else. I don't know what, but I did like this little book. So then my Hobonichi arrived. So that's this, the 2016 spring edition. So even though it had started way before, I started using it on October 13th. And so from October 13th until today, which is the 30th of December, I used this. So that's it. How many is that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So that's 10. 10 different planners. All to get me to this, which I, at least for right now, believe is my perfect planner. It is small, it has daily pages, it has enough space for me per day, I'm able to put pictures, I'm able to decorate, and it's not huge, it's not heavy. More so even for next year because it's going to be half as big. So that's it. I thought this was pretty fun going back through all these, so hopefully you enjoyed it as well. And thanks for watching, and I appreciate everyone watching all throughout 2016, and I hope that you come back and keep watching in 2017. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming, so thanks and Happy New Year!